Welcome. In this video, we're going to talk about it's a day that should be one of the biggest days on the entire school calendar for the entire year. And yet, in my 25 years in the field, too many yearbook advisors, this particular day was the biggest pain in the butt day of the entire year. And that's not the way this is supposed to be. We're going to talk about a distribution day. And actually, we're going to change that. We're going to change that to a distribution event, because the really best distribution days are an event. It's not just handing out books. And the problem is, so many times over so many years, and I was literally in the building to kind of watch this, that's what it was. It was, okay, we're going to call people to the office. We're going to call people to some place. Okay, John Doe. All right, John, here's your book. Thank you. Jane Smith. All right, Jane, here's your book. Thank you. And that's it. No hoopla, no anything. Just here you go, here you go, here you go. That's not the way distribution events should be. One man's opinion, but we're going to prove why in this particular video. Now, hopefully at your school, this is an event. In other words, this is a day that people look forward to. If it's either, if you're a spring delivery book, probably, last week of school or toward the end of school and so on. If you're like a summer delivery book, maybe you do some kind of special event over the summer to kind of bring people back to school, at least for a few hours, and have some fun. There's a key word, fun. Distribution days and events should always be fun and full of great stuff. So let's go over some particular tips and ideas and so on. First off is just the mindset. You are celebrating a year's worth of hard work. You've put all this work into making hopefully a terrific book. We want to give this a big send-off, not just here you go. And so a distribution event should have a lot of different elements culminating in everybody getting their book. And they're, of course, going to immediately start looking at it, maybe show it with their friends if they're there and so on. That's the excitement of a really good distribution event. So let's share some strategies. First off, one idea is just don't do this on your own. In other words, maybe partner with some other groups in your school. If you have a pep band or a jazz band or something like that, here's an opportunity for them to play some tunes and entertain everybody, maybe while they're getting their books. Or maybe they do some kind of special show right before you hand out the new books to everybody. Could be that. Could be some other school group. They have an opportunity to sell something or hand out some things and so on. So maybe it's not just a yearbook only event. A good distribution event pulls, one or two other groups of your school in there. One school I'm thinking about, they hand out school awards on that particular day. Could be for seniors, could be for sports and other things. And so they have a big presentation about that. Then they go into the yearbook presentation, and eventually then you go out into a hallway area, maybe you go outside, and you hand out the brand new books and everybody's excited about it. So maybe don't do this alone. Group with some other school groups and make it a big group activity that everybody's going to get something good out of. All right, what about the venue? Well, a lot of folks, of course, do this indoors. It could be in the auditorium. It could be in the gymnasium. Now, usually when we're handing out books, it's late in the spring or maybe summertime for a summer delivery book. Hopefully it's nice outside, right? So maybe you go out to the football stadium or the soccer field, or you just go outside and you hand out the books to everybody and have fun, music playing, maybe some food and snacks and things like that. I've got one school that I used to work with, a summer delivery yearbook. What they would do is they would do their event at the local public park in their town. And they would, of course, promote it big. People would show at the public park. They would hand out the books. They're playing music. They got snacks. Really cool stuff. Not on school grounds, so the school folks don't have to worry about anything over summer break in this particular case. If you have a similar park, maybe near your school, that might be an idea. Hopefully the weather cooperates, of course, but that might be an idea to turn this into more of an event and not just some handout. Now, of course, the big thing here is being organized. Maybe this is where the pain in the butt part comes in, okay? You got to be really organized so that this handout goes as smoothly as possible. Easiest way, of course, to do that is take all the books that you've sold on your sales list, take your alphabet from A to Z, maybe break it up into either 3 or 4 groups, maybe depending on the size of your school. And so A through E goes here, and F through whatever goes here, and so on. And then you have a fifth group, fifth table that is, hey, we have some extra books to sell. Here's how much they cost. Here's where you go to buy one of our extras. And so people that waited to the end and never got around to it, okay, I've got my money, maybe my credit card or something. I go to that table and I can buy one of the extra books. That's it. All right. You print out the sales lists for each one of those four tables that bought a book. Now, what some folks do is they still kind of do it old-fashioned way. They do it on paper, and somebody comes up to, claim their book. All right, let's find their name. Okay, there's their name. On that sheet, if it's paper, or it could be a digital thing, there's an open area where the person literally gives their signature to identify, yes, I picked up my book. If you have any kind of concerns about stealing and all that sort of thing, and your staffers don't necessarily know every single student in school, maybe they need to show some kind of an ID and so on, that's fine. Not a big deal. All right. But the key thing is you want this to go as quickly and as smoothly as you can. Then the pain in the butt stuff kind of disappears. All right. Ask your company or your representative. Maybe they have certain tools that you can use to help speed up the distribution effort. Might be digital tools, something on a smartphone or an iPad and so on. Not every company has this, but a lot do. So if somehow you're not familiar with this, drop a line again to your company or your representative to say, hey, you got some stuff. More often than not, the answer is probably, yeah, use this. All right. Instead of reinventing the wheel, use their tools and things to make it a lot easier to literally distribute the books out in a very quick fashion. All right, and the idea here again is have fun and celebrate. This should be a party. Now, you define party. Probably music, absolutely music somewhere, either live music from a band or recorded music from a DJ or just music you have on your smartphone that you can play out on speakers and so on. If you can, get some snacks, get some drinks. If you have business advertisers in that realm, maybe ask them, hey, we're having a big event. Any chance you could donate some snacks and drinks to us that we can give out to the people at our distribution event? More often than not, if you have those businesses, they'll probably say, yeah, I would like to be part of that. And then give them some publicity, put up a sign with their logo or their name and so on, and thank them for contributing to this year's distribution event. Maybe you do something tied to your theme if you have a theme this year. And so perhaps the yearbook staffers dress up in a certain way that maybe is tied to your theme. I don't know, I've seen a construction theme, and you go to a party store and you get those yellow plastic look like hard hats. They're like really skinny plastic. They're inexpensive, but all the yearbook staffers wear a yearbook plastic hard hat. And that has something to do with that school's theme that particular year. Maybe you have something similar. All right, so consider that as part of your idea. I've seen some schools, they get a photo booth and they set up the photo booth in the room or outside wherever you are. People go in the photo booth, mugging with their camera with their friends, maybe displaying their new yearbook and so on. Whatever you can do to turn this into a party and an event that people are going to remember, that's a good thing. The messages that sends, hey, yearbook is a big deal. All right, we really party when we give out the new books. And part of that is going to be people are going to see that and they're going to say, wow, that looks like fun. Maybe I'd like to be part of yearbook in the future. All right, actually could help with recruiting because we're making yearbook look like a big deal, much like sports teams and so on. If you can kind of kill two birds with one stone there, and you party and you get that message across to people, now the importance of yearbook grows with the entire student body and your entire school. As far as handing out the books, now I mentioned some people still do it the old-fashioned way. They print out the lists. There are a lot of digital tools these days. So once again, talk to your company or representative. Ask them what tools they might have to help speed up your distribution so that you can mark off people a lot more quickly. And again, that pain in the butt stuff kind of goes away. Then people get their new books and they start enjoying them. All right, make sure you track that down. All right, so let's do a quick activity. And that is simply, okay, depending on when you're watching this, talk about your current distribution plans. Is it just, okay, John, here's your book, thank you, and that's it? Or Start the planning like, okay, what could we do? Is a band available? What kind of music could we get? Could we get some snacks and drinks? How are we going to hand out the books? How are we going to distribute everybody and so on? Start working those plans, or if you have plans already, let's perfect them. You don't want to be perfecting this like a week or a few days before distribution day. No, that's when the pain in the butt part starts to come back. Do this weeks in advance if you can, so that when the big day comes, everybody knows their role, everything is set up, the fun is ready to roll, and it turns out to be a fantastic distribution event. This is the culmination of an entire year's work. Play it up big. And again, send that message that, yeah, your book's a big deal. This is memorable. Enjoy this year's book. See what you can do with that, all right? Thanks for watching.